Navid Jamali is joining us now. He's a former double agent for the FBI who pretended to work for the Russians, now the author of How to Catch a Russian Spy. Good to have you, Navid. I want to start with the talks that could happen this weekend. What can likely be accomplished? What's on the table? What's realistic?
Well, I think first it's important to understand the construct of which the Russians look at us and pretty much everything. Look, in my time working with the Russians, what I left with was a sense, very clear sense, that the Russians still view the United States as their main enemy. So essentially, any action that they take is in that construct. So when we look at, the fact that they released video of the talks with their military counterparts, I think it just shows that this is something that they're looking very much to sort of embarrass us, destabilize. And look, everything they've done in Syria has been in a large part to regain some foothold in the region. So when it comes to talks, I think we're talking about tactical stuff, and it's going to be a lot of deciding which way to arrange the chairs on the deck of the Titanic, frankly.
So we're just talking about around the edges, nothing central, nothing crucial here.
Listen, the reality is what Putin has done in a few days is essentially done something that he hasn't been able to do in 14 years, which is insert himself into the dialogue for the region. Whatever's going to happen in Syria, whatever's going to happen with ISIL, we know ISIL at some point is going to collapse. We know Syria is going to have to go through some change, whether Assad stays or goes. Putin is now going to have a seat at that table. And so,
let me ask you about that, because there are several senior administration officials that tell CNN that Putin wants to control the airspace, wants to be the agenda setter on the ground. The U.S. believes in many respects, many here in the country believe that he wants to just simply prop up Assad. But is that it? Or do they extend beyond that?
I think let's look at what he's accomplished in a few short days, right? I mean, he's come in there, and with a couple of bombs, he's gotten us to do what? We've actually severed support of the Free Syrian Army. Now, granted, it was a project that really wasn't working well.
4 or 5 soldiers in Syria from the start.
That's exactly right. But nonetheless, he's gotten us, without firing a single shot at us, he's gotten us to pull the plug on that program, which by default is going to help prop Assad up. So when people say he's going to get stuck in a quagmire, with all due respect, I think he's already succeeded in a major part of his mission.
But a quagmire nonetheless. I mean, once you sweep out some of the what he would call terrorists and what Assad called terrorists, the anti-Assad regime fighters, ISIS has the opportunity to move in there and take that territory as well. So he's going to have to fight back and forth on the same territory against 2 enemies, right?
Well, it's a brilliant masterstroke that he had with. We saw General Soleimani from the Iranian General Soleimani come and talk to Putin shortly before this, and I think he's relying on the Iranians to carry out the ground war with the aid of Hezbollah. And we saw recently the Iranian general was killed in the northern parts of Syria. Frankly, again, where the Russians are is fairly secure. The coastline of Syria has been fairly insulated and protected, and I don't see Assad falling anytime soon. So look, Assad might only be able to hold on to 20, in a practical terms, 20 to 30% of the country. But hey, it's 20 to 30% of the country that matters, and they're not going anywhere. I don't think Putin has to fire a shot against ISIL to keep Assad in power. He's already done that by getting us to pull the plug on the Free Syrian Army.